interesting. So I want to start a maracha, a series on the Haggadah. But we only have 3 Thursdays left. So if you think we're going to get through the whole Haggadah, you're wrong. It's not possible. But I want to try and address the main part of the Haggadah. Do you know what the main part of the Haggadah is? Well, I mean, I'm open to the page, so you figured it out. But it's not even a Rami Ovid Avi. That's why I have the Ritva open. Moira Dika Chiddush for you guys. Moira Dika Chiddush, even though this series is not based on Chidushim. I don't want to tell you not even one Chiddush, because the Lela Seder is not dedicated. It's not dedicated for your Groise Teures and your Chidushim on the Seder. Okay, it's not what it's meant for. We are charged. It's mamish a charge. Like we are. It's our responsibility to give over the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim. It's not a time for, you know what I'm saying, chidushim and different, ideas. It's a lot what to say. I'm showing you. So what's the main part of the Haggadah? It's interesting because it has what to do with what we said once, which I think you'll find hana from that. The main part is the 4 psukim, from Arami Ovid Avi until Vayotzienu. Okay, those are the 4 psukim, and the reason why I say that it doesn't start from Arami Ovid Avi, doesn't start from there, because I always had a problem. What is this Tseul Mad business? How does it come in? Every single Haggadah, even these new fancy Ritvos over here, they botched it up in my opinion. Major. If you look at the Cook, I have a picture of it on my phone. The Cook Haggadah has a whole different Tzura Sadaf over here, much better than this. The Tseul Mad, the Lovan Arami, is all part of the Vihisha Amda. It's not part of the actual story. And I'm basing myself on this Ritva. The Ritva here says, on the Vihisha Amda. Yeah? Isha Amda? Where is it? Yeah. Good. B'chol davar imenu lechal seina HaKadosh Baruch Hu matzilim miyadam b'koved gadol b'atzlacha rabba v'afilu b'zman Yankov Avinu v'tzei Mad v'chulu. The v'tzei Mad is part of the Vihisha Amda. Okay? I'm just putting that as a Maimar Muskar. It's not part of the story. And the Malbim, I'm really basing myself stark on a Malbim in the beginning, right after Vihisha Amda. He says as follows: Sipure hishtalshul sa'inyan mizman terach ad yeridas Yaakov u'banav leMitzrayim asher supar lonu ad heino heimrak kemavoy u'prozdor el etzem sipur Yetzias Mitzrayim hanegel alayla hazeh. Umikan v'hala yichnois el etzem asipur asher hu mitzvas asay min ha'Torah v'asher olav nemar kol amar b'lesapar reizim meshubach. The story begins from Vayered Mitzrayim. Okay? And that's where we're going to start, and hopefully in the next 3 weeks, I think it's a sensible goal to get to the end. Okay? So it goes like this. Here's the pasuk, Vayered Mitzrayim. So Aram is Ovid Avi, and Yankov Avinu goes to Mitzrayim. I am now sharing with you the Torah of my Rebbe. He wrote a Haggadah. Rabbi Reuven Leuchter wrote a Haggadah. It's printed in English, and also the Hebrew. I don't think you can get the print. I picked it up. I got the PDF and I made a book out of it. Okay, so you can do that. You can ask me later. I can help you with that if you want, if you're interested. But he's dedicated to tell us the story of the Yetzias Mitzrayim, and that is what I want to share with you. I'm going to start. I'm going to go pasuk by pasuk, Be'ez Hashem. So we have that first pasuk. What's the first pasuk? So we have Arami Ovid Avi Vayered Mitzrayim. So Vayered Mitzrayim, the Baal Haggadah is telling us something very yesodistic. Onus al pi hadibur. Yankov Avinu had to go to Mitzrayim. Klal Yisrael had to come from Mitzrayim. Now, what is that all about? So here now begins the story. The Rabbeinu Shalom has a had a ratzon. He's the Borei Olam, and he wants an He wants Klal Yisrael. And that creation of that Klal Yisrael has to come from a place called Mitzrayim. Onus al pi hadibur. So we have to understand what's special about Mitzrayim and why do we dafka have to come out of Mitzrayim. So the Mahalach is like this. Chazal say that the matzav of Klal Yisrael in Mitzrayim was keuber b'm'ei imoy, right? Like a fetus in the womb. So he learns up. The Yisod is like this. It has to be born. Okay, so we have a Melech HaOlam, we have Hashem, right? And he wants a Klal Yisrael, he wants a nation that will represent him in the world and point the world in the direction of Kedusha. That means you say that this world that was created, it was created for a purpose, and it was created for his purpose. We are charged with a job to be Mekadosh Shem Shemayim, basically. Very simple. Very simple. So why Dafka Mitzrayim? Because Mitzrayim was the Mei Imoy. It was the Uber was there. That means we have to come out from such a koyach. The day that Moshe Rabbeinu came to Paroi was the day that Paroi became, neto, like without any shot, the Melech HaOlam in Olam Hazedika terms. The Medrash says, the Yalkut Shimoni brings that all Malchei HaOlam sent in their crowns subservient to Paroi. Paroi became the king of the world the day that Moshe Rabbeinu came to him. The day that the Uber was ready to come out.
Which day was it?
I don't know what day in the calendar.
When he was born, Moshe Rabbeinu was born?
No, when Moshe Rabbeinu came to Paroi.
After...
he said, let my people go. The first time he said, let my people go. Yeah. That was the day that Paroi became Melech Mitzrayim. Melech Kol Olam. Okay? So Dafka from the Melech of Kol Olam has to come a nation that's Shaykh to Malchus, because they are going to come out and say, this massive Malchus points in a different direction. Points in the direction of Kedusha. I want to tell you a Ma'aseh Lahamchishas Advar. It happened to be this week with my son. Amazing. We had to go to Brooklyn. And we had to go to a doctor in Brooklyn. We had to go. So I went to Brooklyn, went on a trip to Brooklyn. And on the way to Brooklyn, it's a whole chavayah to go to Brooklyn. So we're driving and we're looking for parking in, I'm telling you, Mamish, 13th Avenue and 52nd Street. Okay, and like right there, it was like in an apartment building. That was that house that we had to go, like Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Okay, busiest hours, looking for parking. And like we're approaching, 13th Avenue, so we're passing the Utrecht and all this, bustling and trains and people everywhere. It's just like, it was a chavayah. It was mamish a chavayah. You have to have like 10 eyes on the road. I remember when we went through New Utrecht, there was like a traffic like here and a traffic like that. It's like my son's like, you just went through a red. I was like, no, I didn't. It was the other one. Like, it was like a whole, it's a chavayah. Very busy place. A lot of people and a lot going on. There's, a doctor's office and a bakery and a Heimish, this one and that. It's just everything. And like, full bustling place. And my son asked me a very cute question. Very, very great question. He said, Tai, how come there's always Jews in like, the busiest places in the world? Like, the Jews like, they're there. So the first thing I said to him was like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? He said, when the Jews came, it became the busiest place in the world. We shopped the matzah. We created the matzah. And now I'm daharing a whole new daher. Pshat is, it was the busiest place always. Brooklyn was always the busiest place. Fakir, Lakewood's godless is that, it's becoming a Brooklyn, It's like all the chaver from Brooklyn are moving into Lakewood because, it's Hainuach. But what's the pshat? The pshat is that we have to be nimtza in such a place. We're attracted. It's like it has to be a part of. It's like the DNA of the Zach. If there is a bustling place, if there is a center of the world, Jews have to be there, because Jews have to be part of that centrality and say it's pointing to a different to a tachlis, to a kedusha, to a ruchnius. That's the mahalach. That's why we were Yeah, Nivra in Mitzrayim. That's the Ke'uber bim imoy. That's the Mahalach. So this is a very important Haggadah. And you will see, this is the Onus al Pi Dibur. That's the Mahalach for Onus al Pi Dibur. Now the Bala Haggadah goes on. Vayogar Shom Melamed Shelo Yorad Yaakov Avinu Lishtakeh b'Mitzrayim Logar Shom Shenemar. Yeah, we came Logar be'eretz Banu. Emer Lavadecha Chaver Arav Eretz Knan. V'ad Yeshim Lavadecha be'eretz Goshen. Okay, so they came. Yaakov Avinu knew that it was Onus al Pi Dibur. He came just Lishtakeh, Logar Shom, not Lishtakeh, because of understanding this tachlis, the tachlis of creating an Am Yisrael. We know that Yaakov Avinu had the Shvatim, right? So, Bikish Yaakov Avinu legalis akates. That means that there was a shleimus of Klal Yisrael already. No. There's something called a shayrish, and there's something called a tree, okay? Yaakov Avinu, the 12 Shvatim, the 12 Shvatim are the shayrish of Klal Yisrael. But it's not a nation yet. The nation had to be born. Where? In Mitzrayim. And that was the tachlis. And they went there. Bimsei ma'ot. And this is Moridik, part of the story over here. It's the Uber, right? It's a Meshunadik Abriya in Uber. Because in Uber, it's a tipa, srucha, it's a nothing, right? In 9 months, it turns into, 6-pound baby. It's not normal advancements. It's abnormal. It doesn't make any sense to grow in such a pace. Once the baby's born, it grows very slowly. Very, very slowly. But in the matzav of what's his name? Of Yitzur, okay? It's a very fast process. We went 70 people, and it turned into billions of people, right? Millions or billions? What is it? Billions? Millions. Milliard? I think I'm a milliard. I think he says milliard, whatever. That's already a billion in Hebrew. Okay, fine, but it doesn't matter. It was mamadim anakim. It was huge numbers in such a short amount of time. Again, that's okay. We're developing a story over here. Okay, there's a mitzvah, and it has to grow. Now, even though we were there for so long, whatever, it wasn't that long in comparison to the amount that we grew. Vayisham legoy melamet Yisrael mitziyonim sham. We know the Klal Yisrael stayed, with some sort of a connection to the Ovis. Okay? It was a Memcha Sharituma for sure, but there was that musig of a Yisrael, shmek from a Yid, okay? And that stayed there. Godol Otzum V'Rov. Godol Otzum, okay, again, this is just a chazora kilu of this what we said, that they grew in a tremendous amount. And the last thing over here is a little bit of a chidush. It is a chidush. Again, you see how the Bal Haggadah himself is trying to fetch every word, because like we said in the Malbim, this is where kolor marbil saper harezim meshubach. This is the same thing. Godel otzum v'rov, and it's a whole nother pasuk. Revovo ketzemach hasodet nesatich v'tirbi v'tigdil v'tovi b'dadai. Right? Again, she grew in extraordinary amounts, took care of herself, but at the end, the at eiroim be'area. We're going to finish right in a minute. At eiroim be'area ve'era. So she's orim. She's orum. Klal Yisrael is ready to come out, and it's big. It's ready to happen, but it's orim be'area. And that's a yisoid in Stam and Ruchnias. It's not enough to just, have a shaykhis to Kedusha. Okay? Because, right? Mitzuyonim sham. And that's not enough. You have to have a davar masi. You have to have lamaisa, a chelik, a shaykhis, a kinyan in Kedusha. You have to have a kinyan, a real kinyan in Kedusha. And that kinyan was given to them. That was dam. Dam Mila and Dam Korban Pesach. So that's basically the first pasuk Rabbi said. We're going to stop here, but we're going to continue. You see, this is the Shlovim, Stamazei Agav, the 4 psukim. I'm very into the 4 thing, right? There's 4 psukim. There's Dalad L'Shani Shal Gula, Dalad Kaisis. Rabbi says it's going to be a Heilig Yontiv, Kol Tuv, be well.